It is Friday. It's the weekend. So, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode recap of Days of Our Lives. Today is what? June 14th. I thought it was the 15th already, but it's the 14th of June, right? So, folks, it was a very, very exciting video today. 9 out of 10 for the episode. It left on a very epic cliffhanger. I mean, I wasn't expecting it so soon, but let's see what's gonna go. So let's dive into it, right? So in the first scene, we see Johnny and Chanel. So Johnny and Chanel, they're in a good mood. They're happy about their decision with Johnny getting the job as a assistant director in LA. So, they're over the moon, and Johnny's ready to like find a place out there. And, he had a roommate and his fiance that had an apartment out there. So, he's trying to put his roots down there, right? So we have Chanel now. Chanel said, okay, hold the brakes. But she has a hurdle, which is she got to confront her mom. She got to talk to her mom. She got to resolve things and also let her know the impending news, right? So they left to handle that. Johnny went over back to Marlena and, informed her about everything that happened with him breaking the news to Chanel. And he said Chanel at first took it very she was angry about it at first, but then they got over it and they're in a good space and everything is going well. And so he informed her that he's taking the job and he's gonna move forward with it, right? So that was good. It was a very touching moment between the two of them as usual. So we see Paulina. Paulina is on the line looking at that concerned citizens of Salem CCS organization, the group thing online, and they're painting her in a bad light. According to her, they said they had her glowing and looking like an avocado. You know how Miss Jackie Harry is. She's very expressive in any role that she has. I've never seen her in a serious role yet. So she's always expressive and dramatic. That's just who she is, even off screen, right? So she's talking to Abe about it, and she's upset. She's upset because she, in her defense, is a good mayor, and so she doesn't like that they're painting her in a bad light. So we see that Abe said, he's gonna handle it, and she's asking how. So he said he'll fill her in later. So that is where we see he also told her to get off it, and at first she got off it, but Paulina is just pig-headed sometimes. She's stubborn, right? So she went back on it, and we can't. Paulina is never gonna change in that aspect. So Abe Abe was gonna handle the thing, and it actually was a sit down with EJ because EJ is behind that whole organization. So he had a sit down with him and saying, why is he railroading his wife like that? Not because she fired him as DA. It's vindictive, right? It's spiteful. So, and he even pleaded with EJ to say, okay, they're family, right? Because he was married to EJ's late sister Lexi. So he pleaded with him on that aspect to say, all right, he needs to stop stop railroading his wife. Just back down, right? So EJ is saying that, it's not really about that. We all know that's BS. We know that it's about him getting let go as DA. However, he is saying that it's because of her actions with Chanel and the whole thing up at the Horton cabin. And it was reckless and blah, 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 right? And we're not buying into that. Abe is not buying into that. So, in the end, EJ said he's not backing down, and he claims to say that it's not really about the DA dismissal, right? It's because he's good. He has his son now, and he's the acting CEO. He's all high and mighty. Of course, we know it's gonna end at some point. He's gonna get off his high horse. But let me continue, right? So the conversation ended with Abe saying, now he knows what type of man EJ is, and that was where it left off. It didn't get resolved. So we see Chanel go over to Paulina, right? And Paulina is excited to see her. I mean, they haven't spoken in a while. Things have been rocky between the two of them. So, Chanel breaks the news to Paulina in two parts, that the baby is healthy, and, that she wants to resolve things. She wants to forgive her. And that was a really touching moment between the two of them. And she also breaks news that they're moving. So, of course, Paulina is sad about that because she doesn't want her to leave. She's asking her about the bakery. And Chanel said, she can, branch out there in LA. So of course Paulina is hesitant. She doesn't want her to leave, understandably. So they come at a conclusion and they hugged it out, and she said, let me throw you a going away party with all your close family and friends, just so that you remember that Salem is your home. So of course, you know how Paulina gets, and yeah, that's where it ended with them. It was a really good moment between the two of them. So the next scene we see Stefan and Kristen. So you remember in the last episode, and I can put the link below, and you can see the video up at the top there, right? So Stefan and Kristen, they were in the mansion just discussing what's going to happen with Gabby and freeing her, right? So remember that Kristen was on a phone call when Rafe and Stefan was in the room discussing how to help Gabby's situation. So Kristen came back, and Stefan is saying, like, he's going to put the brakes on doing what he was intending to do, which was to use his resources and get Gabby out, prison break her. So Kristen said, that's fine. She don't need him to back her up anymore. And he's like, why? So Kristen said, you don't check your spam folder, do you? So now I am the acting CEO, so I don't need to help you, and blah blah blah. So Stefan is like, so wait, you're gonna double cross me like that? You're gonna betray me like that? I thought we were looking out for one another, and blah blah blah. So Kristen explained that she couldn't really be directly involved in Gabby's case because Lee Shin is the board chairman, and Lee's father thinks that Gabby killed him. So there's bad blood there. So it wouldn't look good for Kristen to really be directly involved, right? So Kristen said she would still support him indirectly, in the sense of, okay, Stefan, before that, Stefan said that he was going to do what he was intended to do, which was break her out, because at this point, like, he'll do any and anything to get her out at this point, right? So Kristen said, all right, since you're going to go that way, I have some resources to help you, right? So there's some cash in the safe, and there's a folder with a list of contacts to help, right? So then he and her hugged it out. He said he was saying goodbye, he's gonna take off, and they had a sweet moment as brother and sister. Of course, as Kristen pointed out, which we all know, the Demira way, backstabbing, betrayal, scheming is a part of it, right? They're a very dysfunctional family as the Kyriakoses, right? So the next scene we see is Chad and Julie. So Chad is at the police station. Just wrapped it up with Clyde, and then Julie called to check on him, see how he's doing. So Chad said that, Clyde said something about a safety box in Chicago, and it should have information that proves that Abigail is actually alive. So Julie is hesitant. She's concerned, but she's also ecstatic to see maybe it's possible. So he went home and chopped it up with her, and then they're talking, speculating if she's alive or not. They're going to go down to check the safety box and see if it proves it, right? So little Thomas comes in, inquisitive, asking, "Is mom really alive?" So they said. So Julie took over, and Julie said, "No, they meant that Abigail is alive in their hearts and memories live on, and yada yada." So Chad put him back off the bed, and of course he came back, and Julie's saying, he's a very inquisitive little boy. So Chad was saying, just like his mom. So Chad is at the point where it is the second anniversary of Abigail's death. So of course it's still raw to him. So the both of them talk about it more, and then they said, Chad is like optimistic, but then he's also like he don't know how he's gonna feel if it's not true, right? So he's in a limbo with that. So we see where okay, so Johnny went to the pub after he spoke with Marlena to tell his grandpa Roman about his plans, and everybody's cool with it. He meet up with Chanel at the pub, and Chanel told him everything that went on with her and her mom, and they're good, and they had to do what's best for them, right? So we see the scene where Abe goes back to Paulina, right? So Abe tells Pauline, Paulina fills him in about Chanel coming over and they making it right, and Chanel moving. So there's a lot to unpack. And then she asks him, how they go with him and his plan to resolve things with her being recalled. So he said he met up with EJ and it didn't go well. EJ does not want to back down. So Paulina was very funny in this scene. So Paulina said, that's what was the words? I'm trying to remember what exactly the word she said. She said, that silver spoon, vindictive son of right? And then the next thing she said was karma is gonna bite him in his. She was gonna say that, but she said derriere instead to cover it up. But she was very funny about it, and I agree. Karma's gonna bite him really bad. We're gonna see the demise of each of them mirror. And normally I like EJ, when he just came back in, but it's like everything that happened with Nicole cheating on him, and then the whole baby not being his, so he just is very vindictive. He let go of Da. He was very cruel to Stefan and Christy, treated them like they were beneath him, so he was really smug throughout it. So he needs some karma, right? So we see where Kristen sees EJ in the square, right? So Kristen is saying that she's rubbing it in and saying, so how do you feel? I know you must be feeling bad about this new change. So EJ is saying, what are you going on about? So Kristen said, you don't check your spam folder. So you're gonna need to update your resume. So he's like, so I guess next week we'll see how he would react to not being the acting CEO. So this is where EJ is gonna just spiral at this point, in my opinion, because the child is the job that he had is not his, both of them now, because he's not DA, he's not acting CEO. I mean, at this point, he's just gonna go all manic and crazy at this point. I just assume that's what's gonna happen. So the last scene, which is the epic cliffhanger, we see Stefan, taking the money out of the safe that Kristen told him he could get to, plan his escape with Gabby. So he took all the money and the folder, but then he see another folder and he opened it, and then you guys, if you remember the episodes from last year, where Sloan had the DNA results of Jude's paternity in there, right? So she hid it in the mirror safe, right? So we didn't know what was gonna come of that, because no, EJ didn't open it and check, right? Because he already know that he's not the father, and we already know. but other people don't know. Nicole doesn't know. Eric doesn't know. The most important people in this, right? So Stefan fumbled along it. I don't think even EJ knows that that folder was left in there, right? And Sloan didn't say anything to him, so he couldn't go in there and destroy it. Again, all the mayors seem to share that safe. So I'm surprised nobody didn't find it yet until now. So Stefan opened it and said, "Well, I'll be there." AJ is not the father of Jude, so I don't know what's gonna go down next week. I don't know what's gonna go down next week with Stefan. Is he gonna use those results as leverage over EJ? So I don't know what's gonna happen. But this is juicy. This is big leverage. I'm excited for next week. You know, it's been a good week of days so far. I mean, some boring moments, but overall good, great moments. Konstantin being dead was the highlight, and then this epic cliffhanger with Stefan knowing that EJ is not a father. So I don't know. It's gonna be exciting, folks. So thank you for tuning in. Um, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow my channel. Until next time, bye.